Since 1975, Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg. In obituary news this morning, Glenda Chadwell, age 77, of Irondale, died Monday. Funeral service was held yesterday at Curtis & Son Funeral Home. The graveside service at Evergreen Cemetery. Curtis & Son Funeral Home directed. Fond memories and expressions of sympathy can still be shared at curtisonfh.com for the Chadwell family. Shirley Brooks died at Coosa Valley Medical Center overnight. Curtis & Son Funeral Home will announce the arrangements. And funeral service for Sarah Wright will be today at the Childersburg Chapel of Curtis & Son Funeral Home at 2 p.m. Burial in the Green Hill Memorial Gardens of Childersburg. Visitation from noon until 2, all at the Childersburg Chapel of Curtis & Son Funeral Home. Curtis & Son Funeral Home directing. Funeral service for Billy Wayne Sims will be this morning at 10 a.m. from Curtis & Son Funeral Home, North Chapel. Burial in the Shelvin Rock Baptist Church Cemetery. Online condolences at curtisonfh.com. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, North Chapel directing. Billy Joe Thornton, age 86, of Sylacauga, died Thursday at Coosa Valley Medical Center. Curtis & Son Funeral Home announcing. Stonewall Bob Jackson Crawford, age 87, died Wednesday. The family will have a memorial service at a later date. Talladega Funeral Home in charge of the arrangements. Celebration remembering the life of Mr. Willie George Knight, age 84, of Talladega, will be Saturday at 11 a.m. from S.M. Goodson Funeral Home Chapel, with Pastor Arthur Welch officiating. Interment in the Pine Hill Memorial Park. Public viewing for Mr. Knight will be today 3 till 7 at the funeral home. S.M. Goodson Funeral Home and Crematory in charge of the arrangements. Celebration remembering the life of Mr. Jerry Miles McKenzie, age 73, of Talladega, is Saturday at 3 o'clock from S.M. Goodson Funeral Home Chapel, with Pastor Barbara Embry officiating. Interment in the Talladega Memorial Gardens. Visitation is today 3 till 7 at the funeral home. S.M. Goodson Funeral Home directing. Celebration remembering the life of Mrs. Nancy Russell Sloan, age 63, formerly of Munford, will be Saturday at 1 o'clock at Shady Grove Missionary Baptist Church, with the Reverend Nathaniel Ashley officiating. Interment in the Jennifer Cemetery. Visitation today 1 until today 1 until 3 o'clock at the funeral home. S.M. Goodson Funeral Home and Crematory, Talladega directing. And graveside service celebrating the life of Mr. William Lewis Big Baby Crow of Sylacauga is 2 o'clock Saturday at Friendship Baptist Church Cemetery. Public viewing today 4 till 7 at the funeral home. That is going to be at Wright's Funeral Home in Alexander City. The body will lie in state 1 hour prior to the service at the cemetery on Saturday. Wright's Funeral Home in Alexander City in charge of the arrangements. And William E. Boss Newsom, age 96, died February the 28th. Family will host a graveside service today at 1 o'clock from Pleasant Grove Baptist Church Cemetery, with the Reverend Clyde Pettis officiating. The family ask in lieu of flowers that you may make a contribution to your favorite charity or someone in need. Talladega Funeral Home in charge of the arrangements. This obituary report this morning, courtesy of Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg. For pre-need to at-need funeral services since 1975, Curtis & Son Funeral Home, 256-245-4361. The North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg since 1975. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg.